I really enjoyed swimming in the desert of Phoenix, Arizona, but honestly, as an episode of Postcards from Buster, it's not very good. This is the 13th episode of the first season. Buster is, of course, in Phoenix, Arizona. And the reason it's not very good is because I feel like it could have been filmed anywhere. And it could have been shot in any state, in any city. And I just didn't get a sense of Phoenix, Arizona at all. So, as an episode of Postcards from Buster, it's not very good. But if it were just a random documentary about this location and the children there, yeah, it's quite fascinating. It focuses on a boy called Denny who practices swimming 6 days a week, or even 7 days a week sometimes. And Buster doesn't like the sound of that because he doesn't like exercise. And Denny has known that he's wanted to be a professional swimmer since he was a little boy, and Buster begins to panic because everybody around him seems to know what they want to be, or they knew what they wanted to be when they were very young. And he makes some decisions about what he's going to be when he grows up, and I won't say what they are, but I will say his father was right. He's only 8 years old. He's got time to plan his future. But it is there are plenty of people younger than Buster who know what they want to be and start training earlier and start practicing hard and are very dedicated, and this is what we see here. And probably over half of this is just about the swimming pool, and that is so boring. But because Denny, the main kid in this, is such a great kid and so fascinating and really likable, I actually just found it fascinating to watch. Muffy and Francine are in this quite a lot, which is kind of cool, but Muffy is really creeping on Denny and has a massive crush on him. And because he's a human character in the live action footage, it just seems a bit weird and a little bit uncomfortable. And I didn't particularly like that direction at all. I didn't think it was necessary, and it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. We do get a little bit of dancing at the end, which I think might be slightly more for Arizona than, I don't know, New York. You're more likely to find it in Arizona than New York. And there's a look at their version of the space station where Denny is doing some training on being an astronaut, which is interesting. But for the most part, as an episode of Postcards from Buster, it's not very good at all. And there's not a lot of animation in it of Buster. There is quite a bit of Francine and Muffy, which, as I said, is kind of cool, but not much of Buster. I liked it, but not as an episode of Postcards from Buster. It's very atypical, so I would recommend it. But if you've never seen Postcards from Buster, I definitely wouldn't recommend this as the first episode you watch because it doesn't really give a good look at Phoenix, Arizona as a place.